Peugeot, Citroën, Fiat, Opel, Alfa Romeo, Lancia. All once proud brands now controlled by one company that's systematically destroying them for profit. Stellantis, the megacorporation formed in 2021, hasn't just merged these companies, it's murdering their souls. I've analyzed their internal strategies, production changes, and the systematic elimination of everything that made these brands special. What they're doing to these legendary marques will make you sick. Lancia has been reduced to one model sold in one country. Alfa Romeo's entire sports car lineup deleted. Chrysler has 2 cars left and one is dying. They're not managing brands, they're managing a demolition. And the worst part? They're making record profits while doing it. 18.6 billion euros in 2023 while your favorite cars disappear forever. Stellantis has turned platform sharing from efficiency into absurdity. The CMP/EMP2 platforms now underpin 30 different models across their brands. The Peugeot 3008, Opel Grandland, Citroen C5 Aircross, DS7, Fiat 500X and Jeep Compass are literally the same car with different faces. Not similar, identical underneath. The numbers are shocking. These different cars share 78% of their components according to supplier documentation. Same suspension, same engines, same transmissions, same electronics. The only real differences? Badges, bumpers, and interior trim. Yet prices vary by 15,000 euros between brands for mechanically identical vehicles. Take the Opel Grandland and Peugeot 3008. Built in the same factory in Sochaux, France, using the same workers, same parts and same production line. The Grandland costs 2,000 euros more because it has an Opel badge that Germans trust more than Peugeot. It's the same car. Stellantis executives literally laugh about this in investor calls. But here's where it gets insulting. The Jeep Compass, an American SUV, is now built on a French platform with French engines, assembled in Italy, pretending to be a rugged off-roader. It shares its bones with the Peugeot 208, a Jeep, built on a super mini platform, stretched and lifted to fool Americans and Europeans into thinking it's a real SUV. The DS7 Crossback takes this to comedy levels. It's a Peugeot 5008 with 20,000 euros of LED lights and chrome. Same platform, same engines, same everything. But DS marketing calls it French luxury and charges Audi prices for Peugeot engineering. Sales have collapsed 73% because even badge snobs have their limits. If you're disgusted by how Stellantis is destroying automotive diversity for profit, hit that subscribe button right now, because I'm about to reveal 8 more ways they're murdering the brands you love. Stellantis continues installing the 1.2 PureTech 3-cylinder engine despite it being fundamentally defective and subject to multiple recalls. The wet belt timing system disaster has destroyed thousands of engines, yet they keep putting it in everything from Peugeots to Opels to Citroens because fixing it would cost profits. The problem is documented extensively. The timing belt runs in oil, degrades prematurely, and sheds rubber particles that clogs oil passages. When it fails, usually between 40,000 to 80,000 kilometers, it destroys the engine. Total repair cost? 3,000 to 5,000 euros. Stellantis' solution? Extended warranty up to 175,000 kilometers, but only if you complain loud enough and have perfect service history. Internal documents from the French Consumer Protection Agency show Stellantis knew about these failures since 2016. They've paid out millions in warranties, yet continue installing this engine in new cars. The 2024 Peugeot 208, Citroen C3, Opel Corsa, DS3 all have this ticking time bomb because Stellantis already spent the development money. Here's the criminal part. Ford uses a similar 1.0 EcoBoost triple with a chain that doesn't fail. Volkswagen's 1.0 TSI uses a chain. Only Stellantis insists on the belt-in oil system that's guaranteed to fail. They could switch to chains for approximately 40 euros per engine. They won't because warranty repairs generate dealer service revenue. The human cost is real. French forums are filled with stories of families stranded by PureTech failures. Single mothers facing 4,000 euro bills on cars worth 6,000 euros. Young people's first cars dying at 50,000 kilometers. Stellantis knows they don't care. The profit margin on continuing to use defective engines outweighs the human misery. Lancia, the brand that won more World Rally Championships than any other car. The that built the revolutionary Stratos, the legendary Delta Integrale, now sells one car in one country. Stellantis hasn't just neglected Lancia, they've deliberately murdered it to eliminate internal competition. The new Lancia Ypsilon, their only model, is a rebadged Peugeot 208 sold only in Italy. Not inspired by the 208, literally the same car with a different grille. They didn't even try to hide it. Same interior, same engines, same everything. The price? €3,000 more than the Peugeot it's based on. For a badge. Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares was asked about Lancia's future in 2023. His response? Each brand must justify its existence through profitability. Translation: Lancia doesn't make enough money to matter. They kept the brand alive solely for the Italian market where nostalgia might generate some sales, but they've already decided its fate. The 10-year revival plan Stellantis announced is a joke. 3 new models by 2028, all based on existing Stellantis platforms, all electric, all sharing everything with Peugeot and Opel. They're not reviving Lancia. They're Weekend at Bernie's-ing its corpse to squeeze out residual value before final burial. Here's what hurts most. Lancia could be incredible. Imagine a new Stratos on the Alfa Romeo 4C platform, a modern Delta Integrale to fight the Golf R, a luxury sedan to challenge BMW. The brand has heritage that Chinese companies would pay billions for. Instead, Stellantis is letting it rot because spreadsheets don't have a column for soul. Alfa Romeo built drivers' cars for over a century. The Giulia Quadrifoglio proved they could still create magic. Then Stellantis took over and systematically murdered everything that made Alfa special. The Giulietta? Killed. The Mito? Dead. The 4C sports car? Discontinued. Now Alfa only makes SUVs and one sedan they're about to kill too. The Giulietta died in 2020 without a replacement. This was Alfa's core product, a premium hatchback that competed with the Golf GTI and BMW 1 Series. Stellantis' reason? Insufficient profitability. The real reason? It competed with the Peugeot 308 and DS4 on the same platform. Why sell an Alfa when you can force buyers into higher margin French brands? The 4C's death is even more insulting. This was Alfa's halo car. A pure sports car with a carbon fiber tub, mid-engine layout, and soul-stirring looks. It proved Alfa could build dream machines. Stellantis killed it because it didn't align with electrification strategies. Translation: sports cars don't generate SUV profits. Now look at Alfa's lineup. The Tonale, a Jeep Compass with Italian badges. The Stelvio, platform shared with the Giulia, which they're about to discontinue. The future? All-electric SUVs sharing platforms with Peugeot and Dodge. They're turning Alfa into a badge engineering exercise. The new CEO, Jean-Philippe Imparato, admitted Alfa's future is rational premium, corporate speak for boring but profitable. No more emotional cars, no more driver focus, just premium-priced Peugeots with cloverleaf badges. They're not managing Alfa Romeo, they're managing its decline into irrelevance. Chrysler in Europe is already dead, but in America, Stellantis is keeping the brand on life support with just 2 models, the Pacifica minivan and the ancient 300 sedan that's been discontinued. They're not even pretending to save Chrysler anymore, they're just milking the last drops before burial. The 300 sedan, Chrysler's last real car, died in 2023 after being on sale since 2011 with minimal updates. 12 years of the same car. Stellantis couldn't even bother with a refresh. They just let it rot on dealer lots until they finally mercy killed it. Now Chrysler has one vehicle, a minivan that shares everything with the Peugeot Citroen vans. Stellantis promised a Chrysler revival with new electric models. The reality? The Airflow concept was cancelled. The promised electric sedan? Delayed indefinitely. The brand that once built the revolutionary minivan and turbocharged everything in the 1980s is now a single model that gets outsold by individual trim levels of competitors. Internal documents leaked to Automotive News show Stellantis considers Chrysler a transitional brand, corporate speak for dying. They're keeping it alive only because killing it would trigger expensive dealer lawsuits in America. The moment those obligations expire, Chrysler dies. European dealers have already given up. Chrysler pulled out of the UK and Ireland in 2017 and the rest of Europe followed. The brand that once sold the gorgeous 300C and practical Voyager to Europeans is now completely absent. Stellantis didn't even try to save it, they just walked away. Opel was German for 120 years. GM owned them for 90 years. Then PSA, now Stellantis, bought them in 2017 and immediately started replacing German engineering with French parts bins. The transformation from Germanness to generic European blob is complete, and sales are collapsing. The Insignia, Opel's flagship sedan developed under GM, was discontinued without a replacement. This was Opel's answer to the Passat and Mondeo, a proper European executive car. Stellantis killed it because sedans don't fit their SUV-only strategy. German buyers who valued Opel's sedan heritage were told to buy a French platform SUV or leave. Every new Opel is now a rebadged Peugeot. The Corsa? It's a 208. The Astra? A 308. The Grandland? A 3008. The Mokka? A 2008. They don't even hide it anymore. Same platforms, same engines, same interiors with slightly different dashboards. The German engineering that once defined Opel is completely gone. The Rüsselsheim factory, Opel's spiritual home where they built cars for over 120 years, now builds the DS4, a French premium wannabe. German workers building French cars with German badges for German buyers who think they're getting German engineering. It's automotive gaslighting at its finest. Sales tells the story. Opel's German market share has dropped from 7.8% to 5.2% under Stellantis. The brand that was once Germany's Apple, innovative, reliable, accessible, is now just another generic option. German buyers are fleeing to VW, BMW, and Mercedes. Even Skoda, a Czech brand, is now more German than Opel. Since the merger, quality has nosedived across every Stellantis brand. Cost-cutting measures implemented by Carlos Tavares have turned previously reliable cars into warranty nightmares. They're not even hiding it. Tavares publicly stated the goal was 10% margins regardless of impact. J.D. Power's 2024 European reliability study is damning. Peugeot dropped 11 places, Citroën fell 8 places, Fiat plummeted 15 places to third worst in Europe. Only Dacia and SsangYong scored worse. These aren't opinions. These are documented failure rates from hundreds of thousands of owners. The cost-cutting is visible everywhere. Citroen's advanced comfort seats are now standard seats with extra foam. Peugeot's premium materials are hard plastics with texture. Fiat's already basic interiors got worse. The new 500e has panel gaps you can see from space and plastics that scratch if you look at them. Warranty claims have exploded. French consumer protection agencies report a 34% increase in Stellantis brand complaints since 2021. Italian forums are filled with Fiat 500 horror stories. German Opel owners are discovering their German cars need French parts that take weeks to arrive. But here's the criminal part. Stellantis is making record profits, 18.6 billion euros in 2023. They're literally getting rich by making cars worse. Every cent saved on quality goes straight to shareholders while customers deal with breakdowns, rattles, and failures. It's wealth transfer through deliberate quality reduction. Stellantis' electrical strategy is schizophrenic chaos that's destroying brand identity. They're forcing every brand to go electric using the same 4 platforms, creating an army of identical EVs differentiated only by badges and prices that make no sense. The STLA small, medium, large, and frame platforms will underpin every future Stellantis EV. That means your future Alfa Romeo will be mechanically identical to a Peugeot, Chrysler, and Opel. The Giulia successor will share everything with the new Peugeot 508, and Alfa Romeo sharing its soul with a Peugeot. It's automotive sacrilege. Pricing is insulting. The Fiat 500e costs 35,000 euros, more than a larger, better equipped Volkswagen ID3. The Peugeot E208 costs 38,000 euros, while the mechanically identical Opel Corsa E costs 36,000 euros. The Jeep Avenger EV, built on the same platform as both, costs 42,000 euros. Same car, 3 prices, zero logic. The Maserati Catastrophe deserves special mention. The Grecale Folgore EV shares its platform with the Jeep Grand Cherokee, a Maserati, on a Jeep platform, charging 120,000 euros. The Gran Turismo Folgore uses Stellantis' STLA large platform that will also underpin a Dodge muscle car. Italian exotic on American bones at Ferrari prices. Range and charging are embarrassing. The Fiat 500e manages just 190 kilometers in winter conditions. The Peugeot E208 fast charges slower than a 2018 Nissan Leaf. The Citroen EC4 has software so buggy that owners report random shutdowns. Yet Stellantis claims they'll be fully electric by 2030. They can't even make one good EV, let alone 50. Here's the most disgusting part. Stellantis is making record profits while destroying these brands. 18.6 billion euros profit in 2023, 13.4 billion in 2024. Carlos Tavares paid himself 23.5 million euros while killing models, cutting quality, and destroying heritage. They're not struggling, they're choosing destruction for profit. The math is simple and evil. Every model killed saves development costs. Every platform shared reduces engineering expense. Every quality cut improves margins. Every heritage brand reduced to badge engineering eliminates competition. It's not business, it's automotive strip mining. Stellantis spent 30 billion euros on stock buybacks and dividends since 2021. That's 30 billion euros that could have developed new Lancias, saved Chrysler, or given Alfa real sports cars. Instead, it went to shareholders while iconic brands were left to die. They had the money, they chose not to spend it on products. The human cost is real. Thousands of engineers laid off, historic factories closed, dealer networks abandoned, communities that depended on these brands for generations left with nothing. Stellantis doesn't measure this. Their spreadsheets don't have columns for heritage, passion, or dreams. Carlos Tavares just announced his resignation for 2026, earlier than planned. He'll leave with hundreds of millions in compensation after destroying decades of automotive culture. His replacement will inherit 14 hollow brands sharing 4 platforms selling identical cars at different prices. It's not a car company anymore, it's a badge distribution network. The Stellantis merger hasn't created synergies. It's created automotive homogenization on an industrial scale. 14 brands reduced to badge engineering, centuries of heritage deleted for quarterly earnings, iconic nameplates zombified to extract residual value before final disposal. Peugeot and Citroën, once innovative French brands, now build the same cars with different headlights. Fiat and Alfa Romeo, Italian passion incarnate, reduced to platform sharing with Jeep. Opel, 120 years of German engineering, now just builds French cars for Germans. Lancia, rally royalty, sells one rebadged Peugeot in one country. The numbers tell the story. 30 models on 4 platforms. The 1.2 PureTech disaster in everything. Quality metrics in freefall. Sales collapsing in every market except where they have captive fleets. This isn't management, it's controlled demolition. But consumers have power. Every purchase validates or punishes this strategy. Buy a Stellantis product and you're funding further destruction. Buy from companies that respect their heritage, Mazda, BMW, even Hyundai, and you're voting for diversity, quality, and respect. The automotive world is poorer for what Stellantis has done. Where once stood 14 distinct visions of mobility, now stands one corporation's vision of profitable mediocrity. They haven't merged companies, they've merged them into nothingness. Which murdered brand hurts you the most? What Stellantis decision made you the angriest? Share your stories below. Every comment is a testament to what's been lost. And if this exposed the truth about your car's future, subscribe now for more automotive revelations.